Once again, I welcome in the course of Foundation Engineering. So today I will discuss about the soil spring constant and various in situ tests to compute the soil spring constant like cyclic plate load test and block vibration test, free vibration test, and then I will discuss about the vertical vibration of a block foundation and then uh, yawing of a block foundation and then a pure sliding of a block foundation and then rocking vibration of the block foundation. So let us start about the soil spring constant. So when the block foundation undergoes vertical vibration, then compression will be induced at the base of the footing, or if the block foundation undergoes translation about x or y axis, it results in the shear stress are induced at the base of the foundation of the block. So the nature of the equivalent spring stiffness will be different in each of the different modes of vibration. So and this equivalent stiffness will related to the different elastic constant like coefficient of elastic uniform compression, coefficient of elastic uniform shear, or coefficient of elastic non-uniform compression and coefficient of elastic non-uniform shear. So what is the coefficient of elastic uniform compression? So it is the ratio of pressure, external uniform pressure to the elastic part of the settlement, and it is denoted in kilonewton per meter cube. Similarly, the coefficient of elastic uniform shear, so it is the ratio of shear stress induced to the elastic settlement is called coefficient of elastic uniform shear. Similarly, the coefficient of elastic non-uniform shear, so ratio of the external moment applied to the vertical axis to the product of polar moment of inertia of contact area of base foundation and the angle of rotation of the foundation is called coefficient of elastic non-uniform shear. Similarly, coefficient of elastic non-uniform compression is the ratio of external moment about a horizontal axis to the product of polar moment of inertia of contact area of base of the foundation about the same axis and the corresponding angle of rotation of the foundation. And this coefficient of elastic non-uniform shear, coefficient of elastic non-uniform compression, and the coefficient of elastic uniform shear and compression is related by various relation suggested by the Barkan and IS code. So the various the soil spring constants can be computed by either in situ test or laboratory test. So these are the various in situ tests like cyclic plate load test, block vibration test, free vibration test, and wave propagation test. So let us discuss one by one what is cyclic plate load test. So in cyclic plate load test, the magnitude of load is maintained constant till the settlement of the last plate is completed. Load is then released to zero and the plate is allowed to rebound and reading of final settlement is taken. And in cyclic plate load test, load is increased to next higher magnitude of loading and maintained constant till the settlement when again recorded. So the cycle of loading or unloading and reloading are continued till the required final load is reached. So let us assume the first load is capital P. So load intensity can be computed as capital P divided by base area B by B if the size of the plate is B by B, and the settlement is recorded S1. And once again it is unloading or reloading, unloading, so it will be 0 and the settlement is coming S2. So the difference between S1 and minus S2 is the elastic settlement, and once again it is loading for the pressure in loading intensity of P2, settlement is coming S3. Once again it is unloading and the settlement is coming S4. So the difference between this S3 minus S4 is the elastic settlement. Similarly, um, uh, uh, the procedure is repeated and load intensity can be computed by the load on the plate to the area of the plate, and then we can compute the elastic settlement. Just I am telling that the difference between the initial settlement and the settlement coming when it is unloading, so the difference between these two is called elastic settlement, corresponding to the loading intensity P1, P2, P3, P4, and the settlement is, let us assume, AC1, AC2, AC3, AC4, AC5. So once we have computed the elastic settlement and load intensity, so a graph is plotted between the load intensity and settlement and a load intensity and elastic settlement, and the slope of load intensity versus elastic settlement will give the coefficient of elastic uniform shear. So here I have drawn the load intensity versus settlement curve. Here we can see that once we apply the load intensity of P1, so settlement is coming S1, and then it is unloading, so settlement is reducing. So difference between this settlement and this settlement is called elastic settlement. So we can also draw the load per unit area, means load intensity versus the elastic settlement, and here we can see that the various reading straight line graph. So the slope of this straight line is called the coefficient of elastic uniform shear. Similarly, the second in situ test, that is the block vibration test. In block vibration test, generally there are two types of block vibration test: vertical vibration test and horizontal vibration test. So in block vibration test, generally we record the amplitude and frequency plot, or we draw the amplitude frequency curve. In block vibration test, a concrete block of 1.5 meter by 0.75 meter by 0.7 meter height is cast in a pit at a proposed depth of foundation. And the vertical vibration test means the mechanical oscillator is mounted on the block such that it generated purely vertical sinusoidal vibration, and at the line of and the line of action of vibrative force passes through the center of gravity of the block. In a forced vertical vibration test, we can write the amplitude Az is equal to alpha z divided by 4 pi square fz, where alpha z is the acceleration in vertical direction and fz is the natural frequency in that direction. So here we can write Az is equal to alpha z by 4 pi square fz, or we can also write Cu is equal to 4 pi square fnz square m divided by a. Or if I convert this coefficient of elastic uniform shear area and spring constant, so we can write the, for the vertical vibration, spring constant will be kz. So kz is equal to Cu into a, where fnz is the natural frequency of the vibration of soil block system, m is the mass of block oscillator and motor, and a is the contact area of block with soil. Barkin 1962 suggested that the value of Cu for area up to approximately 10 meter square can be used. If the area is greater than 10 meter square, then IS code suggests that we have to assume the area is 10 meter per meter square, and the ratio of this coefficient of elastic uniform shear Cu1 by Cu2 is square root of A2 by A1, but this formula is applicable for the base area of 10 meter per meter square. IS 5249 1992 recommends that for area larger than 10 meter square, the value obtained for an area 10 meter square may be used. So if area is more than 10 meter square, but we have to find this coefficient of elastic uniform shear by this expression. In horizontal vibration test, we will get the coefficient of elastic uniform shear from horizontal vibration test, and the amplitude relation for the horizontal vibration test, Ax is equal to alpha x divided by 4 pi square into f square, where alpha x is the horizontal acceleration, f is the frequency in x direction in cycles per second. And the expression of coefficient of elastic uniform shear can be computed by this expression, where here gamma is the ratio of mass moment of inertia of the base of oscillator and motor about the horizontal axis passing through CG of the block and perpendicular to the direction of vibration to the mm naught, and a naught is equal to ratio of a by m, and this I naught can be computed by this expression, where I have already discussed what is mm naught. So mass moment of inertia of block, oscillator and motor about the horizontal axis passing through the center of contact area of block and the soil and perpendicular to the direction of vibration. I is the moment of inertia, and Fnx is the horizontal resistance frequency of the block soil system. And once again here we can write the relation between C tau and K and A. So C tau can be Kx is equal to C tau into A. We can write Kx is equal to C tau into A. In vertical vibration test, I have written that Kz is equal to Cu into A. So in the with the help of vertical vibration test, we will get the idea of coefficient of elastic uniform shear, and here in the horizontal vibration test, we will get the idea of coefficient of elastic uniform shear. The coefficient of elastic uniform shear is once again varies similarly to the coefficient of elastic uniform shear. as we have discussed that Cu1 by Cu2 is equal to a square root of A2 by A1. We can also write the C tau 1 by C tau 2 is equal to a square root of A2 by A1. But this formula is applicable for 10 meter area 10 meter square. For area greater than 10 meter square, then the value of C tau obtained for 10 meter square should be used. And there is a various relation between Cu, C tau, C phi and C psi suggested by the Barkens and as well as IS code. So as per IS 5249 1992 recommends the following correlation between elastic constants. Cu is equal to 1.5 to 2 times C tau, or generally we can take Cu is equal to 2 times C tau. Similarly, C phi is equal to 3.46 C tau and C psi is equal to 0.75 Cu. Barkens also suggested the correlation between this Cu, C phi, C tau. So Cu is equal to 2 C tau, C phi is equal to 2 Cu and C tau is equal to 1.5 C psi. Modes of vibration of block foundation. As I discussed in the first class that there is a in block foundation there is a 6 degree of freedom. Here we can see that in x direction or pure sliding of a block foundation, there is a lateral force and a moment is acting. This is called pitching. And similarly in vertical direction, a vertical force and a moment is acting, that is called torsional moment, or it is also called yawing. And in y direction, the force that is responsible for the vibration is called lateral force in y direction or longitudinal. And this moment is created due to the this moment vibration is created, is called rocking. So in each individually I will discuss the what is the various expression in a vertical mode of vibration, a lateral mode or pure sliding mode of vibration, and then rocking and yawing. So let us discuss one by one. Vertical vibration of a block foundation. So this is the block and depth of footing I have assumed as 0, and the external or unbalanced force that is in vertical direction is F naught sine omega t, where F naught is the unbalanced force. So here we can write Fz is equal to F naught sine omega t, and the according to D'Alembert principle we can write the spring force, sum of spring force and inertia force is equal to the sum of external force. So mz double dot plus in vertical direction the spring constant is kz into z is the here is the displacement is equal to F naught sine omega 2, where m is the mass of the foundation block including machine. So if I solve this equation, so we will get the natural frequency, or kz is equal to cua I have already discussed, and the natural frequency in the system as I discussed in the first class, that is 1 by 2 pi square root of omega omega nz, or omega nz can be written as cua by m. So and amplitude of the motion can also be written as f naught sine omega t divided by m omega nz whole square into 1 minus r square, where r is the frequency ratio of omega n by omega nz. And for the maximum amplitude, this sine omega t value should be maximum, so it will be az max is equal to m f naught divided by m omega nz square into 1 minus r square. Second mode of vibration, that is the rocking vibration of a block foundation, and here the external moment, that is m naught sine omega t, is acting and the angle is phi. With the help of in this vibration we can write the natural frequency omega n phi, that is equal to square root of c phi I divided by mm naught. Mm naught I have already discussed, that is the mass moment of inertia about the axis of rotation. And similarly the natural frequency in terms of cycle per second is 1 by 2 pi square root of omega n phi, where I is the moment of inertia, mm naught is the mass moment of inertia, and I is the moment of inertia. Maximum displacement in this mode can be computed as a phi is equal to m naught divided by mm naught omega n phi square minus omega square, where I have already discussed what is m naught and mm naught, omega and omega n phi. So similarly in pure sliding of a block foundation, means along the x-axis in block foundation, sliding and rocking occurs simultaneously. So if I write the equation according to D'Alembert, so mx double dot plus kx into x is equal to f naught sine omega t, or natural frequency in x direction omega nx can be written as square root of kx by n, or c tau a divided by m, because due to this force, due to this the shear stress will induce So we can write the elastic uniform constant, that is the coefficient of elastic uniform shear, C tau into A divided by M. And the natural frequency can be written as 1 by 2 pi square root of C tau A by M, and the maximum amplitude can be written as F naught divided by M omega nx square minus omega square, or we can also write F naught divided by M omega nx square 1 minus R square, because if I take omega nx is common, omega nx square is common, so it will be M omega nx square 1 minus omega by omega nx whole square, and the omega by omega nx is the frequency ratio, so we can also write this expression or in terms of frequency ratio. This is the yawing of a block foundation. The external twisting moment is acting, that is mz sine omega t. If the block foundation is subject to the yawing due to torsional moment, it is torsional moment mz in xy plane. So the natural frequency Fn psi can be written as 1 by 2 pi C psi ip divided by mmz, where ip is the polar moment of inertia and mmz is the mass moment of inertia of the machine and foundation block about the axis of rotation, and psi is the angle of rotation of foundation about the z axis. So this maximum angular displacement can be computed by this expression, and the for different modes of vibration, the natural frequency like vertical vibration, we consider the z axis, so omega nz is equal to a square root of kz by m. Similarly, in horizontal vibration, we will get the natural frequency in x direction, that is kx by m, and in case of rocking, the omega n phi is equal to k n phi divided by mm naught, where mm naught is the mass moment of inertia uh, along the axis of rotation, and yawing the omega n psi is equal to k n psi divided by mmz, we can also write. So let us take the problems based on this. So first problem I have taken from the cyclic plate load test. A cyclic plate load test was carried out on a deposit of silty sand to estimate the elastic coefficients for the design of a compressor foundation. The test was carried out at a depth of 3 meters using a 30 centimeter by 30 centimeter test plate, and the data was obtained. So as I told you, the increment of loading intensity will be constant. Here we can see that this is 25, once again 25, 25, increment is 25 is 25. We have measured the settlement. So determine the value of Cu, C2, C5 for base area of 10 meter square. So firstly I will compute the elastic settlement and load intensity. So load intensity and elastic settlement in mm. So once the load intensity is 25, the elastic settlement is 25. The elastic settlement is 0.5 minus 0.4, so it is 0.1. 50 to it is 0.95 minus 0.8, so it is 0.15. So it is coming 0.15. So it will be 125, sorry 100, after that it will be 150. I'm sorry, it is 150, 150, 200, 250. elastic settlement is 1.6 minus 1.25. So 1.6 minus 1.25, so it is 0.35. 0.35. Similarly, for 100 load intensity, 2.5 minus 1.9, so it is 0.6. 0.6. Similarly, for 150, it is 3.6 minus 2.6, so it is 1. For 200 kilonewton per meter square, it is 4.8 minus 3.8, so it is 1. And for 250 loading intensity, 6.7 minus 4.9, so it is 1.8. So it is 1.8. So if I draw the plot the load intensity versus elastic settlement curve. If I draw the load intensity versus elastic settlement, load intensity and elastic settlement, so once the load is 25, the settlement is 0.1. So it will be like that. And the slope of this curve is called tan theta is equal to coefficient of elastic uniform shear. So the slope of loading intensity versus elastic settlement curve is equal to Cu is equal to, it will be 15 into 10 to the power 4 kilonewton per meter cube. So if I compute the Cu, so for the base area of 10, so when Cu is 15 into 10 to the power 4 kilonewton per meter cube, the base area is how much? Size of the plate is 30 centimeter by 30 centimeter, means it is 0.3 by 0.3, means 0.09 meter square. So what will be the Cu if the base area is 10 meter square? So we have the relation Cu1 by Cu2 is equal to a square root of A2 by A1, and this is applicable for the base area up to 10 meter square, so it is okay. So Cu1 is 15 into 10 to the power 4 divided by Cu2 is equal to A2. So A2 is 10 divided by 0.09. So Cu2 can be computed as 15 into 10 to the power 4, 15 into a square root of 0.09 divided by 10 into 1 into 10 to the power 4. So it is 1.423 into 10 to the power 4 kilonewton per meter cube. So the final value of coefficient of elastic uniform compression is 1.423 into 10 to the power 4 kilonewton per meter cube. So the C tau is equal to 1 by 2 into Cu. So 1 by 2 into Cu is 1.423 into 10 to the power 4. So it will be 1.423 divided by 2. So it is 0.715. 7115 into 10 to the power 4 kilonewton per meter cube. So if I compute the value of C5, so C5 can be computed as C5 is equal to 1.73 Cu. So it will be 1.73 into Cu is 1.423 1.423 into 10 to the power 4. So the value of C5 is equal to 1.73 into 1.423, 2.46 into 10 to the power 4 kilonewton per meter cube. So these elastic constants we have computed. Cu is 1.423. Cu is 1.423 into 10 to the power 4 kilonewton per meter cube, and coefficient of elastic uniform shear is 0.7115 into 10 to the power 4 kilonewton per meter cube. Let us take another problem. Machine weighing 450 kilonewton is mounted on a concrete block resting on soil. The base area of the block is 25 meter square and the weight is 100 kilonewton. The coefficient of elastic uniform compression of the soil is 1.1 into 10 to the power 5 kilonewton per meter cube. So calculate the natural frequency of the system. So in the vertical this is the case of vertical vibration, in which Cu is given 1.1 into 10 to the power 5 kilonewton per meter cube. Total mass can be computed as total weight. So it will be 450 plus 100 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 9.81. So it will be 550 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 9.81. So it is coming 56065.24 kg. So we can, and the area is given, area is 25 meter per meter square, but as per IS code, area should not exceed, if area as per IS code, if A is greater than 10 meter square, use area is equal to 10 meter square. So we have the relation omega nz is equal to square root of CUA divided by m. So Fnz can be written as 1 by 2 pi square root of CUA by m. So if I compute the natural frequency, so it will be 1 by 2 pi 1.1 into 10 to the power 8 is the coefficient of elastic uniform compression in Newton per meter cube. Base area we have to restrict it as 10 meter square divided by mass 56065.24 kg. So it is coming Fnz is equal to 22.29 hertz. Let us take the another problem. The foundation for a gas engine with a vertical cylinder and vertically oscillating parts has the following data. Total mass of engine is 5 mg. Speed of rotation is 300 rpm. Mass of block is 20 megagram. Mass of participating soil is 25 megagram. Spring stiffness is 60 into 10 to the power 4 kilonewton per meter. Determine the natural frequency and maximum amplitude. Take the damping ratio is 0.1 and the unbalanced vertical force is 12 kilonewton. So if I compute the natural frequency, so firstly we have to find the total mass. So total mass M is equal to, it will be 5 plus 20 plus 25. 5 plus 20 plus 25 mg. So it will be 50 into 10 to the power 6 gram, or we can write 50 into 10 to the power 3 kg. So the natural frequency omega n is equal to square root of k by m. So it will be omega n, k is 60 into 10 to the power 4. Spring stiffness is 60 into 10 to the power 4 kilonewton. So it will be Newton divided by 50 into 10 to the power 3. So it will be square root of 60 into 10 to the power 7 divided by 50 into 10 to the power 3. So it is 109.54 radian per second. So Fn can be computed as 1 by 2 pi into 109.54. So it will be divided by 2 pi. So it is 17.43 cycles per second is the natural frequency. In the second part, we have to find the amplitude. So amplitude, maximum amplitude is equal to F naught divided by m omega n square into 1 minus r square. So speed of rotation is given, that is speed of rotation is 300 rpm. So the value of omega is equal to 300 rpm. So it will be 300 divided by 60. So it will be 5 revolution per second. So it can be written as 5 into 2 pi radian per second. So 10 pi radian per second. So frequency ratio R is equal to omega by omega n. It is 10 pi divided by 109.54. So it will be 109.54. So 10 pi divided by, so it will be 0.29 is the frequency ratio. So maximum amplitude is equal to unbalanced force is 12 kilonewton. So it will be 12 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 50 into 10 to the power 3 into omega n is 109.54 whole square into 1 minus 0.2 whole square. So if I compute the value of maximum amplitude, So it will be 12 divided by 50 into 109.54 square into 1 minus 0.29 square. So it is 2.18, 2.2 into 10 to the power minus 5 meter, or we can write 0.022 mm with the maximum amplitude.